Okay, good morning once again from here. Trust we're all doing good. Please confirm you can hear me once again.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We are doing very well. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we had our first lecture for front-end web development on Tuesday, and it was the most explosive time. We learned about the basics of HTML, and we did a couple of practicals with it. And today we would be going into CSS. All right. And I trust we are all up to date on this. We've all installed the necessary tools we need to get the best out of this program. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, I would love for the session to kickstart as we bring up your mentor before the end of the class. Once the class is ending, remember we said that we are going to present our tools that we um our tools that we our UI UX design, our assignments, UI UX design, our GitHub accounts and our LinkedIn account as a proof of your attendance for today's class. Okay, these are past classes, the past assignments that we've been working on. So for you to be able to exit and mark the attendance for today, you must present these tools. So without wasting much of our time, and we'll call on Mr. Chidi, your front-end mentor, who's going to come up on stage and take you all on the second edition of the front-end web development course. Hope we are all excited. All right. If we are excited, we can put our hands together to bring up Mr. Chidi on stage.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Glorious.
Good morning, Mr. Chidi.
Trust you're doing good.
You're very.
All right. Nice seeing us once again. Um, so last time in our last class we had and we learned about HTML, and what we learned is not just basic; it's everything that you need to know about HTML. If you want to build Facebook, build LinkedIn, build Twitter, that alone can help you to build that. It can structure, you can use that to structure how that your Facebook will be like, that your WhatsApp will be like with that. So it's not just basic, it's everything you need to know. And please take it serious. I don't know how many of us have been able to install PS Code. Can I see a reaction if you have installed a VS Code? Because I was expecting a lot of questions on the group, but I did not see any. So just one person. Okay. If you have not installed it, if you have not if you have not downloaded it, please try, because we must build something. We must build something, and I believe it's something that we can show out there. All right. Let's look at what we have for today. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
That's sir.
All right. Today we'll be looking at CSS. What CSS is, how to use CSS, and why we should use CSS. It's not just knowing the name CSS, HTML. Why should you use CSS in HTML? Why don't you use another thing instead of CSS? So today we'll be seeing the reasons why we should be using CSS and why we need CSS. So these are some of the things we are going to cover today. So what is CSS basically? So CSS is an acronym which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. The full meaning of CSS is Cascading Style Sheets. So what is it used for? It is used for styling, like I said in our last class. HTML is just a block, the rough block that you use for your building. But you use CSS comes in when you start plastering the blocks, styling, painting, doing finishing, putting in flowers in the room, just decoration. That's what CSS is. So those web pages or web apps that you see looking nice, you see animations flying up and down, they are done with CSS. That's the work of CSS. And now we know the reason why we need CSS, because it will help to organize, or even our mobile app, because I know web mobile uses CSS too. So it helps to organize your app to look nice. All right. So it controls the colors, the font, the spacing, the positioning. I've said this. So it works alongside with HTML. So you must have HTML before you can use CSS. You cannot use CSS. Even if you write 1 million lines of code that has to do with CSS and there is no HTML, it cannot work. But HTML alone can work, but CSS alone cannot stand. It cannot work. Nobody will see it except when it is attached to HTML. Moving on. At any point, if you have a question, just on your mic and ask your question. So why learning CSS? Why are we learning CSS? So one, it brings life to HTML page. So it makes your HTML to be fun, like somebody will feel it. Somebody will feel it. Just like imagine this my presentation slide. You can see the colors. Just imagine you just plain HTML, you just see this text like that. It will not look appealing, right? So it enables responsive designs. It enables responsive designs. I would like to show us what responsiveness is. So when you're using CSS, it makes whatever you are building, your app, to respond to any screen size. Let me show us. I don't know if any app is running. Oh, give me a second. Let me start this app so that we can see it. Let's see what responsiveness is. Okay. So why is it taking time? Yeah. So we have this. So CSS has been used on this app already. You can see it's looking neat. You see those animations, you see things happening. So what is this responsiveness we are talking about? As you can see, this is a large screen. You see how everything is. But what if it's phone? When we switch to phone, this is who want to say something? So let's assume I'm using iPhone XR. I switch to iPhone. This is how it will look on iPhone XR. So this is what responsiveness is. But it is still that same code, that same HTML that is doing all of this. It's not like HTML will be written for phone, HTML will be written for tablets, and HTML will be written for laptop. Even laptop screens, they have different sizes for laptop. So you can see how it will look like on Samsung. When we switch to let's look at iPad mini. So when it is iPad, this is how it will look like on iPad. And there's another way of testing. You can just be dragging this and be seeing the responsiveness. You see, just that same code. All right. So it is CSS that enables responsive design. It improves user experience. You see, when I was scrolling through that website, like I was feeling it. I was happy, right? So it improves user experience. Who is the user? User is someone that is making use of your app. So, and if your app is not appealing, you know, people will be giving a bad review about your app. But with the help of CSS, you make it look nice, people will give a good review, right? Okay, CSS powers every modern website, be it in USA, anywhere, anybody can use your app because you are using CSS. So how CSS works
Sorry,
now?
Mr. Chidi. I think Precious Thomas and is raised up.
All right, Precious, ask your question.
Good morning, everyone. Please, I'm just confused. I wanted because I'm seeing sharing screen on my screen here. I'm being notified that the screen is being shared. So I don't know if I'm the only one that is not seeing the screen.
Okay, it might be your network, but let me reshare again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm resharing. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So I was talking about how CSS works. How does this CSS work? So we have three ways which we can use CSS on our HTML. So one is inline CSS, or you call it inline styling. So inside, right there, inside your HTML is where you write it. For instance, inside the body of your HTML, where you have your P tag, let's say P tag, welcome to my page. Inside that P tag, you create an attribute called style. We spoke about attributes last time. So you create an attribute called style. For example, um, okay, we don't have it. We don't have example here. Where you create an attribute called style, you start putting your style. You can change the paragraph to red, blue, green, any color, whatever you want to do there. That is called inline styling. We have internal styling. So this internal styling is another way you can put in your CSS. So you put it the head after the head part of your HTML. So we are going to see all of this when we practice, when we start practicing. So that's where you can write your CSS. External CSS, which is the best. In fact, when you start working in any organization, or even when you start building your own project, I wouldn't want to see these two, number one and two. I wouldn't want to see. The one I would like to see is external. That's the professional way of uh, adding CSS to your HTML. And we're going to practice all of them. So this external CSS is that you are going to create a different file for CSS and append the link to your HTML. That's when HTML can receive it, right? But these two, you will write it inside your HTML. But this, you are going to have it separate, a separate file. So why is this guy, number 3, recommended? Why is it the best practice? Because the reason is because imagine you are building something like Facebook, an enterprise application, a very big one, and you are writing your CSS inside. If somebody will not be able to read your code because everywhere will just be messy. Like we'll see all of this and we'll confirm the one that we are going to use. So, but if you have external, if your CSS is in a separate file, your HTML in a separate file, you see that everything will be organized and somebody can read your code very well. And even you, maybe after many years of leaving the project and you come back to it, you can read your code and understand what you did there. So these are the three ways in which you can add CSS to your HTML. So now CSS syntax. How do we write CSS? First, we have the selector and we'll have the property, then the value. So now, example, the selector, we have, let's say in our HTML, we have a p tag or hashtag, right? Anyone. So now I want to style that particular paragraph. I'll now pick that tag, which is the selector. It is called selector. If I pick it, I put curly brace. Now my property is CSS property that I want to include. So what is this CSS property? If it is color that I want to add to the text, or I want to change the font size, I want to add underline, I want to put a font family, I want to like make it to be in italic, anything I want to do. Now, once I know that CSS property name, I put the property name and put the value of what I want. So here the CSS property of what I want to use here is color, and this color will affect text. Now, which type of color do I want my text to have? I want it to have a blue color, or it can be white, it can be green, anything. The font size, I want this text to be small, I want it to be very big. I now put it in pixel. Px means pixel. Pixel is a unit, just like the way you have your cm, mm, and so on. Here we use pixel, and there are other ones we use percent, we use em. So but we'll get to those ones, but for now we'll be using pixel. So 16 pixel, 20 pixel, 10 pixel, 1 pixel, depending on what you want to achieve. So this selector targets the property, it targets the element rather. The elements, I've explained this. That element, we say P with the elements, that's the text, welcome to my page. So when you pick this P now, it will target that element and style it for you. That's all for the syntax. So just know the selector property and the value, and you'll be able to write a good CSS code. So CSS selectors. Selectors, remember up here we talked about selector. So what can you use to that can serve as selectors? First, we have the element selector. You have your P, it could be P tag, H tag, what other tags do we have? Input tag, your input, form, A, that's anchor tag. Once you just select it, it will serve as a selector, and you can use it to style only that element. We'll have the one we call class selector. Class selector, whenever you want to declare a class in your HTML, when you are declaring a class will now be an attribute. You now say class, and you give that class a value, a name, and when you want to use it in your CSS, it's going to have dot card or dot that name that you gave it in your HTML. So now when you write your CSS, your HTML will now understand, oh, once it sees that name dot, that name that you gave it in HTML, it will now say, oh, this is actually my name that they are calling in CSS. So let me use it. Let me now do what they're asking me to do. It will reflect on your HTML. We have the one we call ID. The same way you do your class is still the same way ID is. But the difference is that ID now uses hash, while class uses dots. Why just elements use the tag name? Okay. And mind you, a tag, which like P now, can have a class inside it. We'll do all of this. It can have an ID inside of it. So I know that some of you will not understand this until we do it practical. So we have the group selector. Imagine that you have H1, H2, H3, and you want them to have one style at once. You want all of them to have one style at once. So instead of you doing H1, you style it, you now come and pick H2. No, you can pick 3 of them or 4 of them or 5 of them once and style. And if I want my class to have same style with this guy, I can now put dot card here, put comma H1, then anything I write inside this place will affect everything once. We have the descendant selector, dot car dot p, p tag. So now imagine you have a class, you declared a class, and there is a tag called p. Inside it, this is where div comes in. We'll practice it later. So now you have a class and you have a tag, and you want them to have the same styling, or you want to target all of them at once. This is the way you can do it. Descendant selector. All right. We have colors and backgrounds. How do you put your colors as a property and the value? So you have a background. You want to change the body, the entire body of the web page. Want to change the color maybe to something like red, green, whatever. Fine. You target the body. Give it a background color. This is how we write background color in CSS. And color might have a code, hash, whatever. If you don't know the code and you know the name of the color, you can write it maybe black. We can write black here. You can write green here. And don't, when you start practicing, don't cram any code. Just know the codes. Like white now, if I don't want to write white, I can write hash FFF F6 or F3 will give me white. If it is black, black is 000. So I know these basic codes for colors, but like this one, I don't even know what the color is. So don't stress your brain trying to master. But if you want to be good, it's good for you to know the codes so that you write code. Not we are not writing text. We are not writing English. It's better to use the code, right? So color means the text on the body that will be displayed on the body should be white. While the background should be this. I don't really know what this color is. So use name, colors, hex codes. You can use a hex code, a gradients, or RGB. All of this. So this a gradient color. These are type of colors that you see. A part like this will be looking somehow light green. The other part like mixing of color. That's what gradient is. This linear gradient. So my background can have mixed colors. So the box model. So if you want to create a box, you can use content like a content padding, border, margin. So now a box must have a content, it must have a padding, a border, and a margin. Just imagine you want to create a box. We know what box is, a four corner stuff, right? There must be a content in it, and there'll be a padding, there'll be a border, and there'll be a margin. Now let me explain what we know what content is already. So padding, what is padding? So now you have a box, the space between the content inside, now the content inside the space between the content and the border line, that's the box line inside, is what is called padding. Now we have border is that line that you'll be seeing that creates that box for you. Why margin is the space outside space. Now remember, padding is the inside space, while margin is the outside space between that box and your computer, your screen. So let's assume we have a box. So margin here now, let me use these things here that we have. This from every element, the dots from every element to down here. Now the margin here now is from here to here is margin. From here to here is the margin. Why the um the let's say this is our box. This dot dot now is our box. Let's say it's in four corner, and the text is the content. So now the padding here now is going to be this space from this dot to here is the padding. That's what the padding is. Why the margin is this space here from here to here. That's what margin is. So we can have margin top, margin bottom, margin left and right. So now let's say we have a div and we have this margin. So when you say this margin 20 pixel is affecting the four corners of whatever you are doing. It's affecting the margin top, bottom, right, left. This is our top, this is our right, this is our bottom, this the left. So when you say margin 20 pixel, you are giving top, left, and right 20 pixel. All of them are going to share the same. But if it is just, I don't want anything to affect to my right, I don't want anything to affect to my left, it's just the top. I will not say margin top 20 pixel. It will just give that space only for top. Same thing goes here. And if you want to declare a border, you can give it depending the way. If you want the line to be thick, you now say 2 pixel, 4 pixel, 1 pixel, the way you want, depending on how thick you want the border to be. Okay, solid with the color. This is the color, and you want it to be solid, like to be very thick. That's box model. So we have positioning and layout. How do we position things using CSS? How? So we have two ways we position our things using CSS. We can display a block, inline, flex, or grid. You can use any of these. You can say whatever you are designing, okay, display block. Display can have a value of inline. Display can have a value of flex. Display can have a value of grid. But me, I like to use flex a lot. I like it because it helps me to do whatever I want to do perfectly well. But all of them have their own time and what you can use them to achieve. They are doing the same thing, but for me, I like to use this. But people who are very, very good like to use grid because it's very flexible. Okay, we'll have position. So position can be relative, absolute, fixed, stick, So for instance, when we say position, let me still use this guy. When we say position, you can see this navigation bar. The position is what? Fixed. It's not moving. It's just there. And every other thing is moving. Now, that's fixed position. If we say relative, for instance, there is a place relative. Yeah, relative was used here. You can see that this lady here, her head is touching this card. How? It's not like it was designed. This image is different. This card is different. But with when you write your code to be relative and absolute, that's when you can be able to achieve this. Well, we'll do all of this practical. So fixed, sticky, you can try them out and know how they works. So when you say flex boss, if you want to use flex, so before you use any of this, actually you have to declare what is going to be. You say the property should be display. I want to display block will be the value, and your CSS will understand what it's going to do for you. I want to display inline. Inline will be here. I want to display flex. Now, the CSS will understand, but this display must be here before you can add any of these guys. So justify content. If you choose flex, flex has its own children that it works with. So you can justify your content, you can align items, you can do a lot with flex. We'll have the CSS grid. Same way you declare your display, you say grid, right? Grid template. So if you are learning grid, you will learn grid properties and how it works and how to use it. If you are learning flex, you understand the properties that has to do with flex and how to use it properly. So here you can see perfect for complex layouts. Is very, very perfect. It can give you anything you want. But me, I don't use it. I use flex. So you choose the one that you like, but I would recommend you go for grid because that's the perfect one. So responsive design, I've shown us how responsiveness works. Now, this is how it looks like. First, if you want to have your responsiveness using CSS, you declare the maximum width of what you want. So this place we have 768 maximum width. So from 0 pixel to 768 pixel, this is what I want the font size of the body of the whole text that will appear on the screen to be 14 pixel. I want everything that will appear, the whole text, to be 14 pixel. So at media, at screen size of 0 to 768, the font size should be 14 pixel. And if I want to increase the font size maybe on another screen size, I'll say at media bracket maximum width of 780 to 900 pixel. The body, the font size should be 30 pixel. It would now be bigger. So once you leave this screen size, let's say this screen size always has to do with phone and some tablets, but mainly phone. So once you leave that phone size and expand and move to another bigger screen, you see that the font size will change. That is how responsiveness is being achieved. Okay. Transition and animations. So, transitions, there are some websites you will go, you'll be seeing transitions all up and down. Let's look at this again. If I refresh this guy, you will see small transitions. I'm refreshing it, please. So you see what happened here. So you see here, something is moving here too. You can see. So yeah, they are all transitions and animations. I don't really have much examples for this. So you can give it timing, 0.3 seconds is whatever in the background. So this is for button. We have hover effects. So hover is just, it's not only on buttons. You can use hover in anything, but let's use button as an example. So when you want to touch a button, let's say this button is having green background color, but once your cursor comes there, it will now change to black. That's what hover effect is. Once your cursor just touches there, it will change to a different color. Once you remove your cursor, it will change to that default color. So this is how you declare that. You declare the tag name and put colon and then hover. Then HTML or CSS will understand, okay, you are trying to do hovering. What color do you want the hover to be? If it's a background color, it will change the background color. If it is text color that you want, it will change it. CSS variables. We may not really do this, but I would want to talk about it. This is more advanced. It's more advanced. Even me, I don't always use this guy. It's very, very advanced. So these CSS variables is how you can use it to organize your CSS. For instance, I want all the places I'll be using button to have the same color, let's say green color. So I don't need to come and be putting, if I write, if I come to page 1, I put the color, let's say I have about 20 or 30 buttons on my app, and I want all of them to be having that green color. Then when I'm building it, everywhere I will now come and put green. What if by tomorrow I want to change the color? That means I have to go to all the 20 buttons and start changing the colors again. But with the help of this variable, once you declare it, You just, let's say this is the color, the main color I want to use for my buttons. I might call it that button color or button background color. You can name it whatever. Then I just put red here. So anywhere I'm using button, if I just come there, I'll just say var main color, whatever I call it. So tomorrow, maybe the company might decide, oh, we want to change the color of this button, right? We want to change the color of this button. They will now come back to you. Oga, we heard that you are the developer, we want to change the button. And by then you have a lot of works you are doing. So what are you going to do? You know that changing those 20 buttons, probably you might have forgotten the codes and where all those things are located or what you did there. And you have to think back, you have to take your time to effect these changes. If you are using this variable, you don't need to stress yourself. You charge them, okay, you are going to give me $2,000 to effect this thing because it's going to take my time. This thing is going to take 1 month because the buttons there are much. I will be going into the buttons 1 hour. Inside your heart, you will just be laughing at them. They will pay you. Then what you will just do, you just use a second, ask them, please give me the color. Once they give you the color, you just come here, put it, save it, you are done. And if you are cunning, you just wait for 2 weeks or 1 month, you tell them you are done, but you just use the second to achieve that. But imagine that you did not use these variables. What you are going to do, you will suffer, right? So what this variable does is that it helps to organize your code and it's reusable. You can use it in many places, and when you want to make any change, you just come here and make your change. It's advanced though. So modern tools, there are a lot of tools now that are helping developers to do all of these things that we just discussed without a stress. So we have a framework. We are not going to touch this until you learn CSS very, very well, because before you use any of this, you must know CSS very, very well. So all these things we are built on this. We are built using CSS. They were all built using CSS. So if you don't know CSS, you cannot build this, right? So this is Tailwind CSS. It's a framework. So this Tailwind looks like this. I'm using it in this project already. So let me show us. So this is how Tailwind looks like. So here we are not using CSS again. We are not writing anything CSS. This is Tailwind, and it is very fast and easy to use, more than CSS. But you cannot use it if you don't know CSS. That's the problem. So you must understand CSS very well before you can be able to use this guy, and it will make your work very, very easy. So we have the SARS/CSS. So these ones, they were built using CSS. They are like frameworks. So we have the post CSS. They were built using CSS too. We have the CSS module, scope styling for components. You'll be the one to create this one for yourself when working, and you will use it in all the places that you want to use them. All right. So best practices: keep style modular, use meaningful class names. When we start our practice now, you see some funny class names that some persons will be using. You know, some persons will be giving their class a name like pencil, ball, a boy. You know, no, you have to use something meaningful. We'll learn all of that. Then we are going to see how to write a comment in CSS. We practice how to write a comment when we are learning HTML. So today we'll see how to comment CSS too. Avoid inline styling. In fact, we are not even going to. We'll just see how it works, but we are not going to use it. Then test across devices. This is for responsiveness. You check all screen sizes if your app adapts to them all. So it is time. It is time for us to practice. Any question? If you have a question, you can ask your question. Any question? Okay. So let's practice one or two things. Yes, you can ask your question.
Thank you, sir, for the lecture. I have just this one question. Sir, please, can you shed more light on relative, what relative means? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes. If I should enter into it, we'll get lost here. But along the line, you can always remind me this question, please. Relative and absolute, they always cause confusion because you'll be using them together. But then when we start building our portfolio, I believe we're going to use something like that. And we see that's when I can give a better example on how to use these two. Are you okay with this? Hello, who asked the question? If you're not okay, I can
Yeah,
still explain, but I don't want to confuse us more. Are you okay or not? If you're not, I can explain, but it might make me to divert into another thing. Okay, so let me run this. I believe we have our HTML. Can I see a better example to explain this thing to you? I would have loved to show you this. Okay, let's use this one. Yes, you can ask your question. Is anyone raising up his or her hand? Okay, so in our last class, this is what we did, right? And we are going to be styling some of these things. So I'm going to clear this guy. So we have empty page. So we'll start with inline styling. Inline. Let's say I have a P here or H1, anyone. Welcome to my blog. I have this, but I want to change the color of this guy. So if you want to write inline styling inside here, you'll now put an attribute called style. So now this HTML will now understand that what you want to do here is CSS because you have declared an attribute called style. So I want to change the color. So the color, I will now select the color, which is the property, and what is going to be the value is red. You see, it's showing me red already. When I save, this is how inline styling works. If I want to change this guy to green, I write green color. We'll have green. You see, that black has been changed now, and I can change to any color I want. I can come here and use a different color. Now I'm using a code here 7EFF7E. All right, let me go back to green. All right, I can even add an underline here. I'll just put comma. Sorry, well, semicolon. Then I can put a background color there. Background color. Can choose a color. Which kind of color will make this guy look good now? Let me just choose brown. So we'll have our background color. We'll have brown color. For our background color is the background. So look at how the background is. And I want this text to be at the center. So I can now say text align. Text align. I want it to be at the center, or I want it to be at the right or left, anywhere, but I just want it to be at the center now. I'll now put the value to be center. You see, it has shifted. So I'm now using CSS to arrange my work, and you can see this is looking sharper than before. So this is how we style inline, right? We have this. I'm going to comment this so that it will not show. This is inline styling. This same code that I just wrote now, we're going to use it for internal styling. So I will remove this guy. I will remove these attributes here. I save. We are back to the way we were before, right? Now, for internal styling, I just finished explaining inline styling. For for internal styling, you will just come here. This is the head. After this closing tag of head, you come here. In between the closing tag of head and the body, you create your CSS. So I can now say style. I will now put a style tag. Open and close it. I'll open and close my style. Oh, sorry, I didn't close this guy. Yeah. So I want to achieve the same thing I achieved using inline. So what I'm going to do here, I'll come in between the open tag and close tag of style. I'll put my H1 because H1 is what I want to effect. So okay, it's like I'm running speed. So I will now write this. I'll click on this curly brace. Sorry, my copilot is just introducing something. So I will have my open and close tag as we can see here. I'll just hit my enter key so that there will be space. Next is I want to change the color of this guy. I'll now write color as a property. First, as you can see, I called H1 here so that my HTML will know that what I want to style is H1. Just imagine or assume that we have other elements down here, other tags like p tag, div, and so on, span. You know, it's not the style that we are doing here will not affect them because we are not calling them. The one we are calling is just H1. So I can now write my color to affect the text. I can now put any color I want. Let's say which other color? Orange. Let me call it orange color. So I'll put my just the same thing we did here. Actually, I can put my background color, my test align. That same thing I did here, you know. So test align, I want it to be here. So this what I achieve with this. Now you can see that here is free. I can read this, but when we're doing this, see how long this guy is. The inline styling. Why internal styling? You see that it's shorter, right? So same thing goes. We have done internal styling now. We have done inline styling. Let's practice external styling, which is the best practice. External styling. So if you want to create external file for CSS. You come here, you create your file. This one, remember, this one is to create a folder. Why this one is to create a file? I'll now call it style or anything you like .css, but it must have this extension .css, just the same way this one has .html. This one will have .css, so that your VS Code will understand that it is CSS that you want to write. Okay, so I'll now have that my H1. I'll write it. I'll just write the same thing, just the same code that we're having the other place, just because I will save. Now that I've saved, I'm calling H1. No, I have saved now. You see, nothing is happening here. Nothing. Why? Who can tell me the reason? Yes, yes, go ahead.
You didn't put a dot.
Huh?
You didn't put a dot.
A dot? No.
Yes,
Okay, a dot at where?
that's dot H1.
No. We use dots when we declare a class. We are still coming to that. Okay, thanks for
Okay,
attempting.
sir.
Thanks for attempting. Yes. Another person.
Okay, so I think nothing is happening to our main work is because maybe it's not yet connected. You created a new file style.css, but we haven't connected it to our main work.
Who is speaking? What's your name?
Manasseh.
Manasseh. All right. Honor Patrick. Patrick. Is Patrick on this call?
Yes, sir. Just that my network is bad.
Yeah. Okay. So why is this guy not affecting my HTML? Have you been following? Patrick,
Yes, sir.
have you been following?
Honestly, I've not been following. My network, I hardly hear your voice.
You did not complain.
Yeah.
Just it seems like you're on the road here, and you are just because of attendance. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
Who is
network.
Matthew? Matthew.
Okay. I'm not sure, but I feel it's because you said CSS cannot work on its own without being linked to HTML. So I feel it's because you haven't linked the folder to the HTML. That's why it's not yet reflecting.
Okay.
Not sure.
Okay. Matthew and Manasseh. Okay. I cannot really see. Okay. Anche, you can shoot.
No, sorry, sir, it was a mistake. I just removed it.
Okay. All right. Manasseh and Matthew. Well done. I think you guys got it. So you'll collect something from Mr. Glorious. I'll be gracious. You guys should meet him. Oh, all right. That's just the reason I've not linked it. I've not linked it. So it cannot even work. Even if I like, I should write millions of code here. I'll not see the effect. So how am I going to link this guy? How? So if I want to link it, I'll come to my HTML. This is now my HTML, right? Either before my title, I'll just come here on top of this place before my title. I'll just put a tag and say link, right? So first, the link is going to have this rel That's to tell this guy it's just an attribute, though if you don't include it, it does not really matter. A style sheet, what I'm trying to declare is a style sheet. And now the link itself, this href attribute here, is what is going to call my style. So my computer has detected it because of some extensions that I'm using. But then I don't like the way it is. So there is a mistake here. The mistake here is that my CSS is inside my image folder. And that's why you are seeing image/style.css. I don't like it and I don't want it that way. My CSS should be a file on its own, not inside any other place. So I just removed it now. So it's on its own. So this thing now, if I hit save now, you see that it's not going to see it because the link is broken. The link is bad. It cannot see it. So what I'm going to do is I'll rewrite the link. So as you can see, I have my style.css. Once saved, it has been linked. So that 1 million lines of code I'm going to write here in my CSS will be seeing the effects on HTML. This is how you link it. Okay, that is that. So I know that our time is almost up. So we are going to touch some few things. I'll just rush. Now, this is how to add a tag if you just want to call a tag. So what if we have a class? We want to have a class. So let me declare a div. If I have a div here, or okay, let me use simple example. I have p. I'll now say this is paragraph 1. We'll have paragraph 2, 3. Now, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. I save. I have this. If I want to style this 3, if I just come here and put p tag, p, I can say, okay, it's suggesting for me the font size should be 20, the color should be blue. Fine. The 3 has it. But I want paragraph 2 to be different, to have a different color. I want paragraph 3 to have a different color and paragraph 1 to have a different color. How am I going to achieve this? This is where style, class and ID comes in. So I have these 3. I want this guy to be different. So I'm going to introduce a class. I'll now put a class attribute to my P. I say class. So the class now, I'm going to give the class a name. I can call it P paragraph. I can call it any name, either info paragraph 1 or anything I can use to remember it, but it must be a meaningful something. I can give it P1, just like this. I can give this guy a class name. I can call it P2. I can call this guy P3. I save. So now if I come to my CSS, right? Let me remove this guy. If I come to my CSS and I want to target each of these classes, I'll now come here and say dot. That is where you use class now. Dot P1. So I want the color to be red. Red color in bracket. I want the font size. I want the font size to be 30 pixel. Is bigger. You see, everything I'm doing now is affecting only the first one. Okay, I want it to be bold. The font weight, I want it to be bold, very bold. You see, it's bold now. So let's style the second one. Now have P. So I want you to have like my extension has suggested what to do here. So I have this. I don't want us to waste much time writing codes, but I want to add another thing. I want it to be in italic. Fonts decoration. Is it decoration that calling it? Oh, I've forgotten the property name. Font style, yeah. So you don't need to cram any of these things because CSS will be suggesting some of the things, but just play around. And like this guy now, I've forgotten the name because I don't write CSS again, but it just suggested. Okay, I have my italics. So I want to style my third one separate. Underline, I want it to have underline, you know. So this is it. Are we good? So
Yes, sir.
back to my HTML. I've given different stylings to these guys. Then how do I use an ID in CSS? How to use an ID? Let's assume that we have same P again. Let's still use same P again. So I declare an ID here. So I can as well use ID of P1. Same thing goes to these other guys. ID of, okay, let me just name them. Okay, yeah, P2, P3. Cool. As you can see, remember we're having some same P here, but it's not affecting this one because these guys are using class. Now we want to use ID. So how do we style this guy using ID? We'll come here, want to select the first P. Now when you're using ID, you have to use hash so that it will understand that it is an ID that you are referencing. Okay, we just have this. We know all of these codes already. So I just save. This is it. So same thing goes to the other guys. This is just example of using ID. So the last but not the least, we talked about model. We are not going to touch everything practically today. When we start building our portfolio from Saturday, we'll start seeing every other thing that is in the slide. But this is just to have the basic understanding about class, tags, and ID. So we talked about box model. So let's say we have a box here with a container. I just want to explain padding, top, margin left, and all of that before we call it a day. If I have a div, and who can remind me what I said a div is? Okay, in case if we have forgotten, I said it in our last class. A div, you always use a div, a div. That is called a div. When, for instance, you have your school bag or your laptop bag, then inside that your laptop bag, you have your laptop charger and you have your laptop. Now, the bag is what is containing these two things. So it is called a parent container, and that is the work of div. Div always contain children. So this H1 and P now, they are children to this parent called div. So anything I do here, if I want to, when you carry down your laptop bag, you are carrying two things at the same time. But imagine that they are not in a bag. You'll carry laptop first and keep it and go to where you want to go and keep it. Then you'll come back and carry your charger separately. But if they are inside that bag, inside that your laptop bag, you are carrying everything at once. So that is what div does. div carries everything inside it. This is the content inside it. So if I want to carry this h1ip to the left, to top, to down, anywhere, once I target this container, it will be carrying it for me. So I gave it a class name of what? Container, and I want to go and style it now. So if I come here in my CSS, I will only target container dot container. This guy is already suggesting something for me, but I would like to write it myself. Sorry. So I have my container declared already, and I want to give it a border. I want it to have a border so that we'll see what is in there. Border. So 2 pixel, solid black. I want it to have a color of black. My HTML, I did not save it. Yeah. So this is the border, this is the content. If I don't want it to have a border, I can remove it, but because we are practicing, let's just. So what if I make this thing to be 6 pixel? You see how big it is? Just like that. If I don't want a border, fine, the border will not appear, but my div is still holding what it is holding. But let's just use this border so that we'll be seeing the effect of everything we are doing. Okay, so let me leave it at 2 pixel black. Now I want to explain padding and margin. Padding and margin. As you can see here, let me expand this guy. As you can see, this guy is almost touching here, and there is no space here. In this my text, there is no space at all. So if I want to put space here now inside, we are going to use padding. Padding is the space inside the container, while margin is the space outside the container. Please understand this. So I want to put padding. So I want it to have padding, top, padding. If I just say padding only like this, it's going to affect the four sides: top, right, left, and the other one. So let me make it 30 so that you see the space here. That's giving it a space. So here is 30 pixel, here is 30 pixel, here is 30 pixel, and here is 30 pixel. But what if I only want this guy to affect only the top? Only the top. I'll now come here and say padding top. Padding top 40 pixel. So the space here is 40 pixel. If I want it to have a space bottom, padding bottom 40 pixel, or let me give it to be 60 pixel. I save. Do you see the space? So you can be giving them like this 1 1 1 1 1 top. If I want to affect this is my left, I can now say padding left. Let me give it 60 pixel. You see? But if I want to affect all of them once, no need of doing this thing 1 1. I can just come here and say 40 pixel. Padding is going to affect the 4 at once. Yeah. So we have this. Same thing goes to margin. So I'm not going to explain that margin. Same thing. The way padding is just the same way margin is. We have margin top, margin bottom, right and left. So, but just know where you want to affect is outside. So when I do this, you can see it has affected my outside. There is a space now outside. Okay. Is there any other thing? I can curve this thing using CSS. So if I want to curve it, I can say border radius. There's a property called border radius. So that border radius, I can make it to be 8 pixel. You see, there's a small curve here. It's not looking like a card. If I want it to look sharper, I can make it to be 12 pixel and so on. I can make it to be 50 pixel, depending on what I want to achieve. So that's that. Am I missing anything? So with this container now, I can even put a color, a background color, changes. The test can have color. Let's call it dark blue. You suggested dark blue for me. We'll have this, right? But now remember, there is a content. We have P, either H and P inside. But I want my H to have a different color, and I want my P to have a different color. That's the children. I want each child to have a different color. How am I going to do it? Remember, their parent is already giving them color of blue, of dark blue rather. So how I'm going to achieve that is I will now say dot container h2. Is it h2 we are calling it? My computer is suggesting, yeah, it's h2. The h2 there. I want to do something else. Okay, let's just start with this. We are just playing around. Text, I want it to be centered. I want to have underline in this first one, and I want the color to be changed. I want to change the color to something dark red. You know, I save. It has affected only this guy. So same thing, and this is going to be your assignment for today. Then Saturday we'll start building something, and when we start building, that's when you will be seeing serious assignments. Your assignment for today, you are going to see it in the group. I'm going to write it and send it in the group to be submitted on Saturday morning. Nope, Saturday is fine. This is just HTML and CSS. I'm going to send it in the group, and you are going to send a screenshot of what you did. Screenshot of your code, not the output. Not the output like this. The code is what I would like to see. All right. We'll call it a day from here. Who has a question? Any question? Oh, Patrick has left the call because he knows I'm going to come for him. Okay. All right. Since there's no question, our program instructor can go on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chidi. We really appreciate. I'm surprised that the students don't have any question. That shows that we actually understand what we need to do. We know everything about HTML and CSS now, right? Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, so we are anticipating our assignments. Mr. Chidi ESS is going to post it on the platform, and it's quite very simple. And from all the tools that we were requested to get ready, Visual Studio Code, all the extensions, I think that is what will help us to be able to achieve the assignments. So that is how we are going to know that you have installed all these tools for front-end web development. All right. Having said that, Mr. Chidi, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. And we are getting into serious business. And as students, we need to buckle up our seatbelts. Just like he said, we are not just coming here to mark attendance, all right, but to get the best out of the program. And we are going to know that you have gotten the best out of the program by following through every step of the program, including your assignments, including even the classes. Okay, so just like we said, as time goes on, our attendance is not just going to be to come in and just say present and go, but you're going to, you know, prove to us that you are following through in the class. And yes, for the students that are actively participating, we're coming up with a new way to motivate our students. Maybe we come up with things to award students for best performing students at the end of the week. Yes, we are coming to that time. So you have to actively participate in order for you to gain. We won't tell you what you gain for every week. It's going to come in with new surprises. All right. So please, let's ensure that we are actively participating in the program. Having said that, I would love to mark the attendance now. When I call your name, I would love to see your LinkedIn account, your GitHub account, and your UI UX design. Then you can exit the call. So this is more like the last thing we are doing. Once you hear that, you are free to exit the call. Once your attendance has been marked, you are free to proceed. Thank you so much, guys. And we are meeting again on Saturday. Time is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. West African time. If you have any challenge or any question, you need any clarity, I think it's only one person that is actively doing that on the platform. You need any clarity, drop a message on the group and tag your mentor. It might not necessarily be front end, but it might be UI, UX, or project management. Drop a message, tag your mentor. You can tag me, tag your mentor. Let us get the best out of this course. We need the best. You're not just coming here to mark attendance and get a certificate, but you have to prove that you came out from this team and this team made you strong, a strong web developer. All right. So please, once you mark your attendance, you are free to proceed with your day. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, yes, we are.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Good. All right. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen now, and okay. All right. So we have Mr. Daniel Patrick is, I think he was on the call, but his activity is not yet. Do we have Victory Louis? Victory Louis, I think if you're talking, we can't hear you. You're on mute. Louis. Louis is not on the call. If you're speaking, you are currently mute. Okay. All right. Can we see your activity, your GitHub account, LinkedIn account, and your UI UX design? Okay, we still can't hear you. All right, maybe when you are ready, we can come back. Manasseh Salisu. Salisu, Manasseh.
Yeah, sir.
Yes. Your GitHub account, your LinkedIn account, and your UI UX design. I mean, if you have
Oh,
any of
yeah.
these three.
I'm actually having network issues here, but I don't know. I'm coming.
All right. Next person, Manasseh Hanche. Okay. All right. I got a message from him.
Sir.
Yes. Are you ready, Manasseh Salisu? Okay, cool. You don't need to show us your login. We just need to see your dashboard, your overview. Your dashboard. All right. So while Manasseh Salisu is doing that, TJ, is TJ on the call?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your your LinkedIn account, your GitHub account, and your UI UX design.
Okay, sir. Okay, so am I meant to share my screen?
Yes, you can share your screen if you're ready.
Okay, sir.
If any person that I've called your name and I've skipped your name and you have your account ready, you can share it with us. All right, cool. This is your LinkedIn account. Valid.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Can I still see my screen?
All right, that's fine. We've seen your LinkedIn account's dashboard with 0 connection. Okay. That's good. How about your LinkedIn account? Sorry, your GitHub.
Yes, sir. This is my GitHub.
No, this is your LinkedIn account.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, sir. This is my GitHub.
I don't almost finish. I don't want to this thing.
Hello?
Yes, good.
Okay.
This
I
is
don't know
good.
if I think the GitHub account.
This is good.
I don't want to do my student one time. I'll show them this thing.
All right, this is good.
No,
Salisu, your mic is not mute. TJ, how about
Yes.
your UI, your design, your portfolio design, UI UX?
Sorry, sir. It's on my laptop, but now my laptop is down.
All right. So once your design is done, you send it to me. All right.
I should send the link.
Yes, for the design.
Okay. Okay, sir.
All right. So, is any other person Salisu? Yes, Salisu, you can proceed.
So I don't know if you are getting me.
Yes. All right.
I was having issues with my mic. So this is my GitHub account.
Okay. Cool. And
yes, then for my LinkedIn, it's showing. Sir?
For your LinkedIn, what's wrong with it?
Yes, I'm having network issues, so it's still loading. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So let's do a quick security checkup. So I also managed to do my portfolio.
Okay. Can you display it for us?
Okay. And so is it?
Are you showing your screen? Because we can't see it moving.
Okay, I'm coming.
Maybe you can stop and share your whole screen if you're switching windows. Cool. Zoom in.
So I don't know if you can see the screen now.
Yes, we can. Zoom in.
Okay.
Zoom in. Zoom in. Cool.
This just I not do much of the design. I just
Okay.
should I read it or
it's fine, but you can improve on it, right?
yes, sir.
All right. You can always improve on it, but this is good. At least you have something ongoing. Okay. All right. Cool. Manasseh Salisu. Anyone that is ready can. All right. Do we have
Okay, good
Lynn?
morning.
Okay. Precious
Okay,
Tommy. Okay.
yes, I'm very sorry I don't have much time since I'm at work. So I don't know if
Okay.
I can just go ahead and show
Sure.
the field I've done. Okay, this is my GitHub account.
All right. If
Can you see my screen?
you can share your screen. If you're sharing, we can't see your screen. Maybe you can stop and reshare.
Can you see it now?
Okay, cool. We can
Can you see
see.
my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen now. This is your GitHub account.
Yes, this is
Cool.
my GitHub account. I don't know, I've been trying to load, but it's not loading. Just as I've told you, so you come back, go there, go to that side. Yes. Sorry for the interruption. This is my GitHub account, but I don't know, it's not opening. But I've
This
opened
is your.
account with them.
It's okay. This is how it should be. This is your dashboard. Cool.
Okay.
All right. The LinkedIn account.
This is my website, which I haven't done yet, but
Okay.
I just crafted something about myself, but I haven't done it yet. I
Okay.
haven't brought it to the UI UX design platform.
Okay.
So this was
So,
like something I created for myself.
all right. We spoke about this. So you need to convert it to UI
Yes, yes, I
UX
will.
using Figma rather.
Yes. Then
Okay.
this is my LinkedIn account.
Cool.
So
Cool. This is
this
good. This
I
is
don't
good.
know. Thank you very much.
This is good. All right. So you just pay attention for everybody that is posting their LinkedIn account, their GitHub account. You just post the link on the platform on the WhatsApp channel, and we'll follow each other. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
So that's good. You can exit. Who else? That was Precious Tommy.
Please, I'll be going off now. I don't know. I have a patient
Sure,
on.
sure, sure. Once you're done with your presentation, you can go. Next. Who else? We have Lynn. Yes. Okay, Ebube Luis is ready now.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So let me share my screen now.
Okay.
Please, I confirm if you can see my screen.
Okay, your screen is coming up, and yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah. So for my LinkedIn,
Okay.
this is my LinkedIn account. I don't know why the thing logged off.
Okay.
It's logging in. Okay. I think network, but let me go ahead to show you the GitHub, my GitHub. Okay, yeah, this is my LinkedIn.
Okay. This is your dashboard, your profile.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yes,
This
sir.
is good.
Then my GitHub. This is
Good.
it over here.
Good. This is cool.
Yes, sir. Then for the UI UX, I'm still having issue with some parts which I'm still working on. So
Okay, but do you have anything started? Have you started anything?
I just created the account, but I haven't started anything yet due to the issues I have with.
Okay, so we should be expecting that on Saturday.
Very well.
On Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Next person. Yes. Lynn, you can go.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
Mm,
How are you doing?
Fine, sir. Why did not see?
Yes. Yes, you can make your presentation.
I'm trying to share my account, my screen,
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Okay. I think I'm able to share it.
Okay, you can stop and reshare.
Okay. I don't know if you can see.
Yes, this is
Okay.
good.
So this is the GitHub account.
Cool.
Then for my LinkedIn, sorry, I'm gonna get to share it now. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. This is LinkedIn.
Cool. All right. All right. This
The
is good.
one is
Oh, your
sorry.
LinkedIn looks very good. Looks
Thank
very,
you,
very
sir.
good. Good. All right. So,
Sorry, the next one. Portfolio.
hmm,
Please come over to my speech. Okay.
all right. Wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Are you ready to transform this into yes, a front-end web application?
I think I did that. Let me see to give you.
Because this is amazing.
I think I did something like that too.
This is amazing. So we are going to be converting this to front-end web development. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So cool. Mr. DK AC Dick. Lean. Okay. Yes. All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So we should all stay in tune. We'll get the next step for all these activities that we are doing for our LinkedIn, for our GitHub. I mean, before the end of next week, you should start pushing things to your GitHub account. So it should start being heavy. And your LinkedIn account should be showing your progress so that potential employers can start seeing you. All right. So, Mr. DK, I think you're the only person on the call now. I haven't looked into any updates from your end.
Did you mean me, sir? Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. So your LinkedIn account, your
Let me
GitHub
share my
account, and your
okay. Let me share my GitHub account with LinkedIn, but I don't have Figma yet.
okay. Yeah, sure. You can share your screen and let's see it together.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Mr. Case, we are still waiting for you. Okay. I think we lost him there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for today's session. It became very lengthy, but we got the best out of it. So please buckle up your seatbelt for the next class on Saturday. We are moving with full force now. All right. So thank you so much. And we'll get the next instructions for our GitHub account and our LinkedIn accounts. All right. Thank you so much and do have a lovely day. Bye.